And then we release. It's going to reduce that snatchiness and that early release that loses the power. So we just go a little bit quicker. When we have the driver in our hand, we're human. We're idiots a lot of the time.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
We want to hit it as far as possible. When you try and hit the ball harder, or when you're like, hey, I want to try and get 20 more yards, you actually, more often than not, hit it less far than you would if you just tried to make a nice sequence and a solid contact. When we're trying to force a lot of shots, we get out of sequence and we end up throwing the hands a little bit. We're trying to get faster here because we know we want to try and make this go faster. We often throw the hands out here and we end up like our power is actually maximizing here, like before the ball. So we get a little bit stuck and then we have to shove through just to sort of catch up, but it's not optimal. What I want you to do is picture a clock face here, okay? 12, 6, 9, 3. A bad swing is when we release the power anywhere like 7 o'clock, okay? 8 to 7, we're casting the club out here, we're getting a little bit stuck. This is where we're bottoming out. And then after that fact, we are going to just not generate the power. We want it to be happening over here. So we have 6 o'clock, we have 3 o'clock. We want our maximum speed, or at least our intention, to be happening here, just after the ball. How do we do that? I wager most of you have got an alignment stick. And the reason this is going to help us is because of this, the sound. The sound that makes is going to give us that audible feedback. That sound is going to tell you where you're accelerating. Now, yes, this isn't the same weight as a golf club, but it's going to at least educate your body a little bit of what needs to happen to accelerate at the correct time for that maximum distance. It's going to be a bit hard to hear it on the camera and on my mic here. However, if I try and throw back here, I can hear it. If I had my eyes closed, it's over here, I can feel it. And yes, I'm stopping in a way, but even if I follow through and do that, I can feel and hear the speed is happening here. As I said, we've got the clock face. 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock. We want to be having the loudest noise around the 5 o'clock mark. So I'm going to close my eyes. There. And you can see, not only is the sound happening here, it's a louder sound because it's much easier for me to deliver the acceleration here through the ball than it is here. I'm going to really try and emphasize this now. I'm going to go back and swing through. You can hear that whoosh. That's giving me the incentive to swing a bit faster where I need to. So I try and translate that into my driver. Now I'm going to have a couple of practice swings because this is going to feel a lot different to an alignment stick, but my intention is the same, to get the speed happening here. And you think, well, how am I going to do this? The beauty of this, just having the intention alone, and the alignment stick is going to help, but you don't need to try and make it happen too much. Just with the intention of trying this to happen is going to help. Now, if you don't have an alignment stick, you can just turn your club around. So you're here, just to give you that whip where you feel it this way. But we're going to try and emphasize the same feeling, okay? So I'm going to swing back. I'm not going to go too hard here, but I'm going to accelerate at the right time. So that is how and where we need to deliver power. It's not here, it's not anywhere else. It's fantastic, and that's how you're going to deliver way more speed where it matters. Now, I'm going to give you one extra tiny tip that's going to add even more effortless speed. One problem people have is trying to control their backswings a little bit too much. It's a little bit slow trying to find positions. Then it's a snatch from the top because the tempo, there's too much difference. It's too slow, then it's quick. And the quickness happens and then we release too early down here. It's much harder to release further and through the ball. So this little tip is going to give you much more freedom and more power. I want you to actually try and make your takeaway just a little bit quicker. Doesn't mean snatching it away, but I want you to feel like you're a little bit more alive in the feet, a little bit more alive in the body. So as we swing back, we're actually swinging back a little bit quicker, but it's almost like a throwing of the club. We're throwing it back. I'm staying centered with my head, but I'm throwing it back, then I'm catching the weight, and then I'm throwing it back through. So I'm ensuring that when I do this swing, it's a nice flow of tempo. I almost feel like I've got a little bit of a, it's not a pause, but I have a little bit more time in transition to get my sequence working better. My lower body, then my torso, then my arms, then my wrist. Everything's working a bit more naturally. Like if I was to say, I've got to throw this club, I'm not going to go throw it that way. If I want to throw it as far as possible, I'm going to go, right? I'm going to really let it go just that little bit more. And doing that is going to give me the speed and the time that I want to release through here. So just by having a little bit of a quicker momentum on takeaway, it's going to reduce that snatchiness and that early release that loses the power. So we just go a little bit quicker and then we release. Give that a try and you will have more freedom, more power, and you will be a happier golfer. Now, go and watch this to make sure that after you've bombed the drives, you're going to hit those irons nice and crispy. See you next time.